It is my pleasure to introduce Pierre Bensusan.
Tomorrow, at dawn, at the time when the country becomes whiter, I will leave. I know you're waiting for me. I will go by the forest and over the mountains. I cannot stay away from you any longer. I will walk with my eyes fixed upon my thoughts without seeing nothing outside, without hearing no noise, alone and known. My back bent, my hands crossed, and the day for me will be like night. Now that Paris, its cobblestones and marbles, and its haze and its rooftops are far away from my eyes. Now that I am under the branches of the trees, and that I can see the beauties of the skies. Now softened by those divine spectacles, plains of rocks, forests, valleys, silver rivers, looking at how small I am and looking at your miracles, I come back to my senses in front of this immensity. We only see one side of things. The other plunge into darkness of a frightful mystery. Man carries his burden without knowing the causes. Everything he sees is short, useless, and fleeting. I will not watch the golden close of the evening, nor the distant sails that glide towards Harfleur. And when I arrive, I will lay on your grave a handful of green holly and heather in bloom. We only see one side of things. The other dives into darkness of a frightful mystery. Man carries his burden without even knowing the causes. Everything he sees is short, useless, and fleeting. Victor Hugo. Demain dès l'aube, à l'heure où blanchit la campagne, je partirai, je sais que tu m'attends. J'irai par la forêt, j'irai par la montagne, je ne puis demeurer loin de toi plus longtemps. Je marcherai les yeux fixés sur mes pensées, sans rien voir au dehors, sans entendre aucun bruit. Seul, inconnu, le dos courbé et les mains croisées, et pour moi le jour sera comme la nuit. Maintenant que Paris c'est pavé et c'est marbre et ça brûle et ces toits sont bien loin de mes yeux. Maintenant que je suis sous les branches des arbres et que je puis songer à la beauté des cieux. voyant vos miracles, je réponds ma raison devant l'immensité. Nous ne voyons jamais qu'un seul côté du jour. L'autre plonge dans la nuit d'un mystère effrayant. L'homme subit le jour sans connaître les causes. Tout ce qu'il voit est court, inutile et fuyant. Je ne regarderai ni l'eau du soir qui tombe, ni les voiles au loin descendant vers la fleur. Et quand j'arriverai, je mettrai sur ta tombe un bouquet d'eau et de bruyère en fleurs. never too late to say good evening. Thank you for being here tonight. I was here 1 year ago. I don't know where the time went. I know what happened between when I was here and today. I've been thinking a lot about you guys and about what you have been going through. And I'm even more touched to be back, in fact, tonight. I am at the very end of a humongous mammoth tour, which started in Los Angeles in early June, and which ends next week in this state, in North Carolina. So I'm going to be playing tomorrow in Raleigh, and then Charlotte, Stockdale, and Wilmington. And then I go home to Paris, and the day after I land, I play in Paris. When it's finished, it's not, in fact, finished. And after that, the mayor of the town where my wife and I live, which is 1 hour east of Paris and called Château-Thierry. We live in a village next to that town, which is the beginning of Champagne country. The mayor said, okay, Pierre, you're celebrating your 50th anniversary. This will be the last show on your tour. You have to be doing this on your soil. So the mayor gave me this beautiful auditorium in Château-Thierry where I'm going to play the entire week. And then I will stop. So every night has been different, always very, very enjoyable, despite the fact that I'm playing exactly the same notes in different orders. Yeah. And I started this concert with a melody from Turkey called Ekimoglu, which means the son of the doctor. And someone else said to me, no, it doesn't mean the son of the doctor, it means the son of October. Okay. And then I played my homage to the great Bob Dylan, who is touring non-stop. He never stopped to tour, in fact. And I grew up listening to him, and I started to play guitar strumming and do a lot of his songs in a metro in Paris. And one of them was The Times Are Changing. And so when I was reading this book by Paulo Coelho called The Alchemist, a music came to me, and it was a mix of Bob Dylan and something else. And it took me a while to figure out that it was coming from him directly. And when I found that out, I had to change everything, which was good. So he will not be, I don't know, he will not be resentful with me, something, I don't know. I never met him. I would love to, I don't know if he's heard this piece, it's really amazing. And then I played, I told you a poem by Victor Hugo called Demain dès l'aube, Tomorrow at Dawn. This poem was part of a collection that he put together called The Contemplations, a collection of poems that he wrote after a tragedy which took place in his family. He lost his daughter the very day of her wedding, and she was getting married in Normandy, and she was going to celebrate this on a boat with her husband. The boat flipped out and they both drowned. And Victor Hugo was not there. That's an enigma for me. But he was in Spain when his daughter got married. And when he got the news, he was so devastated that he spent 4 months away from France, could not return. And then when he came back, he went to see her grave in Normandy, and then recluded himself and wrote all those poems. And so I took 2 of them, put them in one, and I wrote a music on it, despite the fact that he did not want musicians to do that. Strange man, Victor Hugo. Amazing guy, but very, very, very full, with lots of little hidden things. And then I played my homage to the great Karol Jobim with a sort of bossa nova, which I wrote called Without You. And now, if it's okay, we'd like to tell you how I got to become a guitar player. In fact, the guitar in my hands was an accident. I was on my way to play the piano, and when my family moved out of Algeria after the Treaty of Independence of that country, 1 million French people, 125,000 Jews didn't want to stay there. Some of them were there for centuries, like my family, like my ancestors. But everyone chose to not stay and to move to France. So all those million and plus migrants arrive in a country that they didn't really know, despite the fact that they were French. The welcoming was quite cold, and France was very poor after the Second World War, decolonizing all their empire. So my folks were completely broke, but my father, who was a big music lover, didn't want to leave the piano in Oran. So each family was allowed to take something that they could, whatever they could, furniture, clothes, and put them on the boat. And the piano got ruined during the crossing. So when my parents arrived, one of the very first things that my father did as soon as they found an apartment was to buy another piano. And my two sisters, older than me, took lessons. And me, I remember that when I was 6 years old, I was fooling around on the piano, and my father had reopened a grocery store. My mother found the same job she had in Algeria. She refound a job as a school teacher and later on as a mathematics teacher. But one of the clients of my father was a piano teacher. And my father was looking at me playing. I don't know what I was playing. But he said to me, "Would you like to take lessons?" I said, I don't know what I said, in fact. I don't remember. And he said, "One of my clients is a very nice woman who is a piano teacher, and she has accepted to trade piano lessons against grocery. And if you want, you can start on Monday." And I think I said yes, because I took 4 years of piano lessons with her. And so she was my unique music teacher. She taught me how to read without even me noticing that I was learning how to read. It was so natural. I was playing and reading and playing. After 4 years, I was sight reading. I even didn't know how I got there. It was normal. And one day she left. She was going to move to the south of France with her family. And she said, "Pierre, it has been fantastic, but I hope you can find another teacher." And I could not find another teacher. We tried, but it was not possible. She was irreplaceable. So I stopped playing piano for a while. And my parents waited one year. And one day I came back from school and the piano was no longer there. My parents said, "We have to sell it because you are no longer playing. And your sister stopped playing too." And we were living in a condominium where the walls were so thin that when I played the piano, everybody in the building could hear it. And the guy just underneath was working at night and trying to sleep during the day. You can imagine. He didn't like Beethoven at all. And my father said, "I sold the piano, but I got a guitar," and he gave me a steel string guitar. And I said, "Dad, what do you want me to do with this?" "Music," he said. "And how do you tune it?" He said, "I don't know how you tune it." Okay? I knew one thing. I was not going to take lessons, so I had to figure it out. And I did a very bad job. I started to break strings. So I broke 3 strings altogether, and I started to like the guitar with 3 strings. But a friend from school came and destroyed my dreams and said, no, come on, 6 strings, I'm bringing strings, I'm going to change the strings and to tune the guitar and show you a few chords, which he did. And 2 days later, the guitar was completely out of tune. And then I looked at the vinyls that we had, and we had a vinyl by the great Spanish master Narciso Yepes, playing Spanish classics, and also the music of this black and white soundtrack, black and white movie called Jeux Interdits. And I love that piece. So I figured out how to tune a guitar by listening to the piece. And then I learned the piece. And I'm here tonight. So, everyone in my family had a love for different music. My father was into gypsy music, Django Reinhardt and the Hot Club of France, Benny Goodman, a lot of jazz, a lot of classical, a lot of opera, a lot of tango, a lot of Paris accordion music. My elder sister was into Ray Charles, Nina Simone, and Sonny Rollins. My other sister was into the Beatles, Elton John. And so we had a small apartment. My sisters were sharing a room. So you can imagine when one wanted to hear something, the other wanted to hear something else. And me, I had a room, the piano was in my room when I was very young, but after the piano was no longer there. And my father, on the weekend, was listening to his records. Whatever happened in the other rooms of the apartment was none of this business. So all this music was all the time like this. So, yeah, like Duke Ellington said, there are not so many different types of music. There are two types, good music and less good music. And so I started to really love folk music myself. And no one in the house was listening to folk music, no one. So it was my territory, it was my domain, it was my country. And so Bob Dylan, but also Irish music, blues, ragtime. And so a lot of blues, in fact, and all those blues guys from the southeast of this country were all self-taught and playing in different tunings. And so I started to emulate their tunings, to try to find out which tunings they were. And one day I found a tuning on my own called Dadgad, D-A-D, G-A-D, when I was 13 years old. And that created a big impact because, and a lot of confusion, because all those tunings dictate a different fingerboard every time. So after a while, I was completely lost. And one day in '78, after recording 2 albums, I decided to choose one tuning, to make a very, very conscious decision, and I choose to tune to Dadgad and to learn the guitar in Dadgad. So that's what I'm playing. And I would like to play for you a song, a tune, an instrumental piece called Dadgad Café. Very good. Soir de dimanche, mis à l'emporter, par un beau soir de dimanche, mis à l'emporter, là-haut sur la montagne, je vois une clarté, c'est le flambeau de ma maîtresse qui va s'y reposer, qui va s'y reposer. étais hirondelle et que tu puisses voler. Si tu étais hirondelle et que tu puisses voler, tu mettrais une cage sur ma croisée, afin que mon amant fidèle ne puisse plus s'envoler, ne puisse plus s'envoler. Thank you so much. My wife and I, we used to live in Paris, downtown Paris, in the 17th district, in a long street called Rue Cardinet, where Debussy used to live in that same street. So, And it was summertime, and it was very warm. My wife was away for a few days and was on my own, and I decided to go and have dinner in a Moroccan restaurant where we went sometimes. It's called Les Trois Marches, the Three Stairs. And so the place was jammed. They had room only outdoor, outside, which was perfect. And as I was waiting for my selection, there was this Yorkshire Terrier going from table to table, free, no leash. He was not really begging food, you know, he had his dignity. But if you were giving him something, he would not say no. But it's strange, he was going from table to table like if he was looking for something. But so the evening went by, there were less and less people, and I knew the owners. So I stayed until the end, until they closed. And there was me, them, and the Yorkshire Terrier. And so I said to the owner, "Oh, so this is your dog?" "No, it's not yours." "No, it's not mine." "So who is this dog?" "Well, we don't know. I think he has been here all night, so he must be lost. He must be lost." "Oh, wow, okay." So I see this dog lost. I look at him, and he looked at me. I was cooked. Well, what can you do? So I took him. And I was living like 500 meters, so we walked, no leash, so I took him in my arms because even it was late, it was like midnight, but there was still lots of cars. And so we climbed the two stairs. In fact, the second floor is a second floor in France. The first floor, your first floor, is our rez-de-chaussée. So rez-de-chaussée, first floor, second floor, and we arrived in my apartment, and we were going to sleep. And the next morning, when we wake up, I had the idea to look behind his ear, and he had a tattoo with a number. So I called the Society of Lost or Found Animals, and I said, "I found this dog, his number is..." And they gave me the name of his owner, a man, and a phone number. I called immediately, and I said, "I found your dog." I left a message. "I found your dog, can you please call me back as soon as you can?" And the phone didn't ring that day. So I went to buy a leash, and so we could, function, the dog and me. And the next day, the phone didn't ring again, but my wife came back and she saw the dog and fell in love with that dog, and he fell in love with her. Then, the day after, we had to go to Brittany. I had to play 2 shows in Brittany, in Saint-Nazaire, in a city called close to Saint-Nazaire. The club was on the beach. We had no car, so we had to take a train. So I have all my equipment, much more than this. My guitar, my equipment. So we push a cart in the train station with a dog at the very top of the pile. And the dog was like saying to everyone, "I'm going in Brittany in vacation." People were stopping and took pictures. because they thought it was funny. And we arrived at the station in San Jose, and my friend said, "Oh, you have a dog?" And I said, "Absolutely not." "You see a dog somewhere?" So I tell them the story of that dog, and they were amused and touched, in fact. "Oh, great, he's going to like it." I say, "He has no choice, he better likes it." You know? So we arrive at the club, and I install myself, and I have to play. My wife takes the dog on the beach, because the club is on the beach. And I do my show. The dog seems to like what I play, which is a relief. Imagine if he didn't like what I do. That would be too much. And in the second day, same thing. We have all the day. My equipment is on stage, so we really take good time. We go on the beach with the dog, and at some point we say to him, "Okay, we are going to leave you free. If you want to go and never come back, you're on your own. If you want to come back, this is where we are." And he always came back, you know. That was good. So I do my sound check for the second show, and by the end of my sound check, the group who was going to play after me came, a 5-piece band. They were going to play the next days. And so they heard my sound check and said, "Would you like us to join you for a number at the end of your set?" I said, "That would be fantastic. Yeah, let's do that." So we played something, a work on in progress, something I had in my projects. So we play that, we sing, it's going really well. And the next morning, my friends say, "So don't have your breakfast at the hotel. Come here at the club and we have breakfast and we take you to your train station." So the next morning, my wife and I and the dog, I call him the dog because we had no name for him. The dog. We arrived at the club, and my friends say, "Go behind the bar, you know, and help yourself, coffee and everything." Okay, so I go behind the bar, and I go to have a coffee, and a customer comes thinking I'm the bartender and asks me for a drink. So I give him a drink, I look everywhere, and I found it, and then I ask my friend, "How much is this?" Okay, so I catch the money, you know. And another customer comes. The club is open, and I'm behind the bar, and my friends are having a good laugh at my expense. I'm just trying to drink a coffee, right? But the thing is that after a while, my friends say, "You're a good bartender, Pierre. You do that so well. Would you like to hang like today and leave tomorrow, even more, even a couple of days?" And I looked at my wife, and we decided to hang, to stay. Yeah, I was going to do the bar to help them. So I was behind the bar. When that band played, I was behind the bar. You know, by then, I knew where everything was. And they were doing a restaurant at night. So, yeah. So we stayed 2 more days. And then we went back to Paris, and hoping there would be a message from this guy. At the same time, we were hoping there would be no message, because we started to really like this little dog. So there was no message. And then the week goes by, the phone doesn't ring. The next week goes by, the phone doesn't ring. And we think, okay, this guy abandoned his dog. That's horrible, but that's our dog now. Then the Monday, the phone rang. That was the owner crying. He was crying because he lost his dog that evening where I found him, very, very close to that restaurant. But he had to leave the next morning for his work in a different country, and he thought he would never see his dog again. He had no time to look for him. So he could not believe that there was this message when he came home. So he was crying and crying and crying. I said, "Why don't you stop crying and come and pick up your dog?" We are here. We are here. So he came, and I will never forget the reaction of the dog when he saw him. The dog was crazy, absolutely crazy. He went to his arm, and we were sad, but also very happy to see that those two loved each other so much. And so the dog could feel that we were a little bit sad, so at some point he came back to us, to each of us, and gave us all those beautiful hugs and licks. And then they went, and we never saw this dog or this guy again. But the music that I'm going to play for you, the dog is inside. That's the tune that I played with the guy with the band, you know. And so it was a good rehearsal because 1 year later we had a dog who has stayed with us for 14 years. His name was Garlic. And we trained Garlic, yeah. Because when he was a puppy, his breath was a bit garlicky, you know. Yeah, but naturally he didn't eat garlic.
Well, this is a French dog, it's normal.
No, not at all. Not at all. No. If you are careful and you smell the breath of your young, you know, puppies, they smell a bit of garlic. So I said. You know, anyway, Garlic. We kept Garlic 14 years, and we trained him with no leash in Paris. No leash, that was amazing. So beautiful, a dog with no leash. Fantastic. Then we lost Garlic. We waited like 6 or 7 years because it was so difficult. And when a new little Yorkshire Terrier came into our life, and his name is Merlin, he's now 8 years old. So I speak to him on the phone every other day. Thank you for your patience with this so long story. You know, you have an expression here, long story short. I never use that expression. Never. This is not part of my vocabulary. I don't know how to make a long story short. I mean, what's the point to make a long story short? Might as well shut up, you know. So I'm going to sing that, and then I will take a break and come back for a second set. Thank you. So this song, this tune is called Kadu Rimdu. Ba